Well, that leads us perfectly into our first segment here about feeding the sales funnel and digitally generating quality over quantity leads. Mike, I'm going to stick with you for this. Zinc brought in a furniture rep business into the fold in January. How do your teams drive lead generation between such diverse suppliers and equipment manufacturers?
Yeah, first, thanks for having me on the panel today. I appreciate the invite. Adding furniture rounded out our portfolio in our effort to provide a total channel coverage. And it's kind of a tough time to integrate and onboard a new business and in a new market, but we're excited about it and got a lot of new opportunities coming from it. So no doubt we represent dozens of great product lines across multiple categories. And with that, we've obviously segmented our marketing campaign. So we've focused our efforts on solutions, not products. We've refocused on operators' needs, not wants. Operators, what they need to get back up and running, what they have to have to operate their businesses. So one interesting thing, and we're really encouraged by, is that customers are very receptive to our messages. Our data and our open rates are gigantic compared to what they were before the pandemic. So we're encouraged by that. People are getting used to the new norm of receiving information digitally, and we're focusing our efforts on, like I mentioned earlier, solutions, and operators are welcoming those.
That's great to hear that the open rates are going up. I think that leads really, really nicely into our next question, which is for you, Stuart. Cambro has a large presence on social media, generating over 80,000 digital impressions per week. How do you define what the ideal lead and successful engagement with them looks like?
Thank you, Michael. I'm happy to be on the panel as well. Cambro being a US-based manufacturer, we're used to measuring everything, and certainly within the digital marketing activity, we have some very specific KPIs and ways of measuring our activity. We've been spending a lot of energy around messaging the fact that 99% of everything we sell in North America is made in our US factories, and that's been a really fun thing to do. But really, the whole digital transformation started at Cambro, fortunately, 2 years ago, so we were well prepared to push this shift as we developed a new mobile-friendly website, put in a digital asset management tool, and hired dedicated resources within our digital marketing team, where we have 4 people. Basically, all they do is develop content and work on the platform. So that's what's been able to put us in a position to make the 80,000 impressions every week. As far as the quality of the leads within there, it really varies dramatically by the platform. We have the most control over the ones we generate off of our website. So right now we average roughly 19,000 web visitors a week. We're able to cull 5,000 visitors onto our where to buy function, at which point they have an opportunity to choose between buying Cambro products from their qualified local distributor or from one of the 5 large national e-commerce companies. One of the most interesting things we found since we started doing where to buy is the fact that we get twice as many leads driven towards the local distributor as we do to the nationals. And that was something that I don't think anyone really could have predicted when we first started this process. But when we get into some of the other things, like Twitter and Instagram, it's more about working our followers and understanding the folks that like and comment. You'll see an awful lot of buy indicators. And so we reach out directly to those folks, bringing them back onto our web and showing them where they can find local distributors to purchase their stuff. So it's really about understanding which one of our platforms we're using on that 80,000 impressions and getting the most out of each one of those.
Absolutely. And I really like how you started with measuring everything and, working with it and engaging. I think that leads really nicely into our next question here for Jameel. Jameel, the Burkett team over the past 3 years has been developing inbound and outbound digital marketing integration with your CRM and ERP. What does lead quality over quantity look like on the dealer side for you guys?
Thank you, Michael, for having me here. I'm very happy to be here and a part of the panel group as well. So when we started this initiative, what we found is we had a large number of leads in our database and we weren't doing a whole lot with it. So we set off to explore and learn and see what we can learn. As we took a step back and looked at things, we asked ourselves, do we want a large quantity of leads and brought into our sales organization and then allow our salespeople to then qualify those leads? Or do we want a large quality, a large quality of leads that are pre-qualified for our sales team already so they can begin to work with it? And I think in any organization, I think salespeople prefer the latter. They prefer to get quantity of leads versus quality so they can do what they do best and whatnot. So in order to do that, what we found is we needed to first take a step back and understand what our true target market was and make sure we had a good, well-documented, well-understood target market that included the types of customers we wanted to service, the geography we wanted to service, and the demographics. We then had to ask ourselves, what is our goal? And is the goal a number of transactional customers or accounts? And when we think of the dealer world, I mean, we all want a customer for life. We want to acquire an account that is going to be with us for the life of the relationship. So that's kind of what we understood. Now that we knew all that, we said, okay, now we can use technology of the CRM and the ERP systems to begin to capture those leads and properly document those leads into our systems. That includes their profile. So again, what type are they? Where are they located? What type of business are they? And then what does their spend look like? And what does their conversion rate look like? Once we have all that data, then we're able to use that data to refine our marketing activities, both inbound and outbound, by continuously optimizing those efforts through many of those platforms, whether that's a direct salesperson outreach, whether that's through paid advertising, content marketing, social marketing, email marketing, or all of the above. But once you've been able to refine it, then you understand who your customers are. Now you can put more energy and more efforts to go directly after more of those customers because you know who you're really good at your company and whatnot. What we have found is this strategy allows us to use a blend of both technology and people to drive high quality of leads to the organization. And then if it's done right, by default, you increase the quantity, and the best of both worlds is getting high quantity of high quality leads hand in hand together. When you think of leads, what we've found also, it's important not to think only of new customer leads, but also leads of your existing customers in your database. Because what we found is that your inbound and outbound marketing efforts and sales efforts are not just looking for new customers, but it's constantly retouching base with your existing customers, staying top of mind with those existing customers, re-engaging those customers so that they can fulfill the objective of being a customer for life. And so that's kind of a summary of kind of the initiative we've gone on and what we have found through this.
Absolutely. I really kind of took notes on the path of refine, target, and then engage and continue to engage.